the life of a wife, mother, and educator is being remembered in Madison after she was tragically killed almost 2 weeks ago. And the latest into more classified documents found at President Biden's Delaware home as Republicans launch their own investigation into the handling of those documents. That's all coming up right now at 10. Thanks for joining us tonight. This afternoon, family, friends, and other loved ones of Beth Steffen gathered in Madison to honor her life. She was out walking her dog nearly 2 weeks ago when she was struck by a car and killed. Not only was Steffen a mother and wife, she was also an educator. Steffen was serving as the interim principal with the Verona Area School District. And prior to her time there, she was the principal at Madison's Edgewood High School. Our Braden Ross has more on Beth's legacy and the impact she had on her students.
When those who knew her remember Beth Steffen, there's one thing that always comes to mind.
She was born to be a teacher.
Beth had a passion for teaching and helping every student be their best.
Beth saw these little people with all their own, everything's there, and then how do you just kind of guide it to help them be what they can be?
She started her career as an English teacher at Beloit Memorial High School. She then moved to Madison, where she taught at La Follette High School, Edgewood High School, and served as interim principal at Badger Ridge Middle School in Verona.
She found everybody's gift, which if it was writing, reading, math, English, anything, art, she encouraged you to do your best and give your all, and she really gave her all to us.
Those who knew her can tell endless stories about how Beth made an impact on the kids she taught.
Her heart was huge. When she was at Beloit teaching, she had a student named Marnie who had done some things that were not great, and she had gone to prison. And my sister would, once a month or twice a month, would take her son, who was 4, and they would go to prison and visit Marnie in prison. And she would take books and she would take literature.
And at Badger Ridge, there was Beth's chair.
They kept having this problem with the bathroom. So she's like, I don't have a solution. I don't know how to stop it. So she would sit outside the bathroom. So then these boys would have to behave themselves.
The school got to know they could usually find Beth in her chair just outside the boys' bathroom. When she passed, students turned Beth's chair into an impromptu memorial, adding sticky notes with messages to remember her.
That made us laugh, and then that made us cry. And then when we read them all, it was just, they're endearing. They're just endearing.
For News 3 Now, I'm Braden Ross.
A live look at the Capitol on this Sunday night. It's dry right now, but that'll change soon. Rain will move in overnight as we're asleep. Let's get a look at our certified most accurate forecast meteorologist, Julian Seawright. Julian, how much rain are we talking here?
Well, we're going to be looking at quite a soaker throughout much of southern Wisconsin. Some areas will see more rain than others, though. So let's get right into it. Right now, it's still dry here in Madison, and some areas are starting to pick up a little bit of a drizzle, mainly south of Platteville as of right now. In areas just north of the Dells, we're seeing a little bit of flurries or light snow, but that has been moving north and starting to clear up as we head into the rest of tonight. Right now, though, still cloudy, but it has been breezy. And those howling winds are going to continue throughout the rest of the overnight and into our Monday. Now, for the holiday, many of us are not going to be working, but it is going to be a wet day and a windy one at that. Temperatures are going to be rather mild overnight. We're not even going to be hitting the freezing point. Upper 30s throughout the next 6 hours, and we've seen that dramatic change of an increase in temperatures once again in the last 24 hours. 10-degree increase for Madison, for Platteville, and 9 for Janesville at this time. But the wind speeds, again, are one of the headlines for our weather. We're looking at 16 miles per hour winds in Madison currently, 17 in Janesville, with 14 in Platteville. So don't be surprised if you hear some howling throughout the rest of the night. Now, looking at tomorrow, temperatures will be into the mid-40s, but we're all going to be looking at plenty of rainfall throughout the morning hours and into our afternoon before we start to see a bit of some breakup. Now, it's a song of rain and snow for next week. We'll talk about why coming up in just a few moments. Until then, back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Just a reminder, you can stay up to date on the weather with our First Warn Forecast weather app. It is hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. One person is dead following a crash in Sun Prairie last night. Just before 9, Sun Prairie Police, EMS, and fire departments responded to a report of a multiple vehicle crash on U.S. Highway 151 just north of the Rayner Road Bridge. 3 vehicles were involved in the crash, and occupants from each vehicle were transported to area hospitals for treatment. One person did later die at the hospital, as the cause of the crash is still under investigation and no arrests have been made, according to Sun Prairie Police. Anyone who may have seen the crash is asked to contact law enforcement. A few 1,000 people were without power this morning in the areas of Oregon and Brooklyn. Alliant Energy says a blown fuse at its substation is to blame, but a fix has already been made. 4 outages in total are said to have affected nearly 2,400 customers, but the power should have been restored shortly after noon. We sent out a push alert through the Channel 3000 app this morning when we confirmed that outage with Alliant. You can download that for free. Just be sure to turn on push notifications so you can stay up to date with the latest stories happening in your community. Reedsburg is home to Wisconsin's first Ford dealership, the first sanctioned Little League in the state, and about 10,000 people. The only missing piece is the world's largest puzzle. Our Nicole Herzog traveled there this afternoon to see it for herself.
Funeral home is probably not where you'd expect to find the world's largest puzzle, but puzzle lovers fit right in at Grass Funeral Services this weekend. Funeral home owner Nina Grass got the idea to host the event after hearing about the puzzle on TV. Though it may be unexpected, Grass says the building size offers the perfect amount of space to complete the puzzle.
But I thought, we have the funeral home, we have tables, we can do it as a community event.
People of all ages came together to start the 60,000-piece puzzle on Friday evening. They've broken it up into 22 puzzles to complete over the weekend.
So we invited the community, and we've had people coming and going from a half an hour to spending several hours here making the puzzle.
They plan to finish it today, but it'll now be completed in Partyville in a few weeks. The event has drawn in puzzle experts from all over the state.
People have came up from Madison and all over the place just to complete the puzzle, so it's more than just Reedsburg.
The puzzle is called What a Wonderful World. It features a map of the globe showcasing dozens of iconic locations, from the Taj Mahal to Mount Rushmore.
But we've learned that there's lots of details which have made it more challenging, but people are having a wonderful time.
The completed puzzle will be 8 feet tall and 25 feet wide, with the funeral homeowners saying they're still deciding where to display the finished product. Some sad news tonight out of Georgia. Just hours after celebrating the team's national championship win, University of Georgia lineman Devin Willock was killed in a car crash. The team, along with fans, filled the streets of Athens Saturday for a victory parade and celebration. A staffer for the team, Chandler LaCroix, was also killed in the crash, and 2 others were hurt. They are unidentified members of the football program, but are in stable condition at the hospital. Willock was an offensive lineman who played in every game this year. Georgia Athletics issued a statement saying Devin and Chandler were 2 special people who meant so much to the University of Georgia, our football program, and our athletic department. We ask that everyone keep their families in your prayers during this very difficult time. It's been nearly a year since the Federal Aviation Administration has had a permanent administrator, but Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is trying to change that. He says he'll push to get confirmed President Biden's choice to lead the agency. The FAA and the airline industry have come under fire in recent days. Just last week, the agency ordered a ground stop for all flights because of a computer problem. The president has nominated Philip Washington for the post. He's currently the CEO of Denver International Airport. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating a close call that happened on a runway at JFK Airport in New York. A Delta flight had to abandon its takeoff Friday because an American Airlines flight was taxiing on the same runway. Reports indicate the Delta plane came within 1,000 feet of the American Airlines jet. New audio recordings show the quick actions of an air traffic controller avoided a potential crash. Luckily, no one was hurt in the incident. Delta says its flight was bound for Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic and had 151 passengers and crew on board. But it did have to return to the gate, where it couldn't depart until Saturday morning. And at least 68 people were killed today when a flight crashed in Nepal, the country's civil aviation authority reported. Hundreds of rescue workers were scouring the hillside where the Yeti Airlines flight went down. The crash is Nepal's deadliest since 1992. The plane was last in contact with the airport at about 10:50 a.m. local time, about 18 minutes after takeoff, when it then went down in a nearby river gorge. Questions are still swirling in Washington about the handling or mishandling of classified materials 1 day after 5 more were found in Biden's Delaware home. Skylar Henry is at the White House tonight with what lawmakers are saying.
Any more classified documents? President Joe Biden ignored questions while boarding Air Force One Sunday as the drumbeat grows louder for him to answer for the classified documents discovered at his Delaware residence. On Saturday, White House attorney Richard Sauber said the additional pages were found on Thursday and given to the Justice Department. The discovery came hours after Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed former U.S. Attorney Robert Hur as special counsel. White House officials maintain they're handling the legal matters by the book, but House Republicans have launched an investigation of their own into how this happened, asking the White House for visitor logs from the Wilmington residence and pouncing on what they call a double standard compared to the DOJ's probe into former President Trump.
The hypocrisy here is great. We're very concerned about a lack of transparency.
What's real concerning to me is how justice is applied, and is it applied equally?
Democrats note while there are similarities in terms of the mishandling of documents, the scale and scope are different, in addition to the willingness of President Biden to turn over what was found.
There was no effort to hold on to them, no effort to conceal them, no effort to obstruct the Justice Department's investigation. All of that is a very sharp contrast to Donald Trump's handling of the situation.
And on another topic, in terms of the looming national debt ceiling being reached, Speaker McCarthy was asked about that earlier today and said that he was looking forward to conversations with President Biden to negotiate raising the debt ceiling, but also talking about ways to cut spending, which is a non-starter for this White House, and said that the debt limit should be raised without conditions. Now, the Treasury Department can step in to keep the country afloat, at least until early summer, but the impacts of these delayed talks could impact everything from stock prices to retirement savings, and the last time it happened in 2011, it took the country months to recover. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
More local news is just ahead at 10 as more than 100 wedding vendors were out this weekend making planning for your perfect day all the less stressful at Madison's 2023 wedding show.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up, but what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. I'm craving something we're missing. The ceramides in CeraVe. CeraVe, developed with dermatologists, contains 3 essential ceramides to replenish ones I've lost and help restore my natural barrier. So I can lock in moisture and we can feel it long after. We're in this together. With CeraVe, we have what we need to stay protected.
CeraVe, the #1 dermatologist-recommended skincare brand.
We asked people to give their honest feedback on how wrinkles around their eye area and under-eye puffiness looked after trying Tint and Tighten for the first time.
So with foundation, normally it just kind of cover up and conceal things, but with Tint and Tighten, it actually changes the way the skin looks. The lines are actually gone, so you don't get any of that buildup within them and the creases that you normally would see when you wear foundation.
Tint and Tighten shrinks under-eye puffiness, smooths out wrinkles and fine lines around the eye area, and provides tinted coverage to hide dark circles and skin imperfections, making you look fresh and younger. And since Tint and Tighten works in 10 minutes and lasts up to 8 hours, you can look your best without getting injections or fillers. Get beautiful, lightweight, tinted coverage, plus that smoother, younger, wrinkle-free look from years past in 10 minutes. A look that will make you feel beautiful and confident. Try it this new year for only $19.95, plus get free shipping and handling. Visit tintandtighten.com or call the number on your screen.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who'll keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas. Take action and get the help you need from InventHelp.
800-550-5543.
I love Jay Farrell. He leaves a lasting impression. I'm gonna give you a person and a topic, and then you're gonna take it away.
Hey, I ain't no jukebox man.
Give it up for Carla Pratt.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
A new CDC report has found that childhood vaccination rates, while still high, are declining. Over the last 2 years, there's been a 2% drop in the number of kindergarten-age children getting protected against nationally recommended vaccines, that being measles, polio, and chickenpox. Federal researchers say that translates to roughly 250,000 children potentially not being protected. A new study in the journal BMJ may help put long COVID sufferers at ease. Researchers found most of the persistent symptoms that develop after a mild bout of the virus, including fatigue or shortness of breath, generally resolve within a year and don't lead to chronic long-term illness, especially for vaccinated patients. Madison's largest wedding show of the year just came to a close after 2 busy days at the Alliant Energy Center. Stress is natural when it comes to wedding planning, but this event brought together more than 100 local wedding vendors to help make planning for that special day just a little bit easier. Ideas and inspiration were flowing, with designers providing stunning wedding-scapes with wedding dresses also on display during a runway fashion show. And of course, an important part of the wedding is the catering. Your ticket to the show also allowed you to taste dessert bites and sip on a cocktail while getting some new ideas.
Behind me here we have Inspiration Alley, which has a fashion gallery, color palette displays, dessert displays, just things to inspire the couples for finding new ideas for their wedding.
Tickets to the event cost $10 and were good for both days. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Julian Seawright.
Well, starting things off, we're going to take a look at our Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday for us, because many of us have it off. Well, you're going to need the rain gear if you are going to be stepping outside at all, but you might not need the umbrella, and here's why. It's going to be rather breezy, so it may blow away for you. But on top of it, we are looking for opportunities for some thunderstorms, not just into our overnight for tonight, but throughout many periods of our afternoon and into our Monday evening as well. But from 7 to 5, expect rain throughout much of the day. Start to fizzle out just a bit for some periods into our early afternoon, but overall you're going to need the rain gear all day, as it's going to be a soggy Monday. Now, taking a look at our surface map, quite a bit of activity coming in from the Great Plains into the upper Midwest, as this low is going to continue to track its way at about a northeasterly pace, setting up just into northern Illinois, where we're going to see that rain start to leak its way into parts of southern Wisconsin and areas just north of the Dells. We'll start to see a bit of some snow as we get into the rest of the overnight and into our Monday. And that's what we're seeing from our radars right now. North of I-94, some light flurries, some light snow, but south, just outside of Platteville, we're looking at a bit of some rain that's starting to develop. Just small little showers and drizzle. But for right now, it's still dry here in Madison, and it will be for at least the next couple of hours. Once we get into the late overnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., so we're going to start to see the developments of some showers, which will welcome us as we wake up for our Monday morning. Now, we are looking at temperatures to be in the middle 40s throughout much of southern Wisconsin for tomorrow. On top of it, still going to be rather cloudy, still going to be breezy, but we will see opportunities for some thunderstorms throughout much of tomorrow. So let's go ahead and plan out how things are going to pan out for us. Around 4 a.m., we're going to see some moderate rainfall, potentially some thunderstorms around Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, and Platteville. And then as we get into around 7, we're going to start to see some opportunities for some more thunderstorms for some areas. Still going to be very isolated, not necessarily going to be very widespread, but the rain in itself will be very widespread throughout southern Wisconsin into our early morning hours. We could see a couple of breaks of it, but still, lines and bands of rain is going to continue throughout much of the late morning into our early afternoon. Then around 5 o'clock, smaller clusters will start to develop, especially near Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, Platteville, and Mineral Point. The 5 p.m. rush hour and commutes, we're going to be seeing a small cluster that could be bringing in some thunderstorms, some moderate rainfall, and then as we get into the overnight into our Tuesday morning, some of that rain may turn into a little bit of some flurries, but overall we're looking for this to be mainly a rain event. 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, maybe even close to an inch of rainfall for some areas, especially between Platteville and Mineral Point. Us in Madison, we're going to be looking at about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. But here's your first warned weather team. We're also going to be tracking next events, which will go into our Wednesday night into Thursday, which is going to be a snow event, bringing in accumulating snow throughout much of our Thursday, which could bring in some traffic impacts for your Thursday morning and for your Thursday evening commute as well. So that's one thing to watch for. We're looking at 2 separate things that are going to happen this week. First, it's going to be rain from Monday into Tuesday morning. Then we're looking for snow from Wednesday night into our Thursday as well. So that's a few things to be prepared for, because we're going to be looking at a bit of one, we're having some rain. 2, we're having some snow. Be prepared for both. Could see some disruptions. Luckily, many of us are going to be off for tomorrow, so it won't be too much of a hassle. But as we get into our Tuesday morning, still going to be rather wet. And then for Wednesday night into Thursday, we've got to be watchful for some snow.
Maybe a little bit of a dreary end to a long weekend, but still a day off work is kind of a good excuse. Just cozy up, get a good book, bundle up, watch some shows, you know, a little bit of rainy vibe. That's kind of nice sometimes.
It's the aesthetic that many people look for, and we finally get it in this third week of January. Take it.
I'm happy with that. I love the sound of rain, and I'm usually missing it this time of year.
Same here, so I'm definitely going to, if I can, take advantage of it.
You should.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Joanne. Still at tonight, the woes continue for Badger athletics, with wrestling the latest UW team to fall. Jordan has more on their duel with Michigan next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
7-day-old tuna casserole.
How'd you know that?
Even my nose is strong. You need Hefty Ultra Strong. It has Arm & Hammer, continuous odor control. Hefty, Hefty, Hefty. Oh, and Toby needs a bath. Stay one step ahead of Stinky.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-336-0524. 1-800-336-0524.
When pain says, I'm here, I say, so are they. Just want to leave. 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve. Who do you take it for?
Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide 3-course dinners starting at $30. Some restaurants will offer a lunch menu for $20. Featuring wine and more by E&J Gallo Winery. Check out our guide to Restaurant Week online to see which restaurants are offering takeout as well as dine-in. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week 2023. Brought to you by the presenting sponsor, Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, and supporting sponsor, Bergstrom Madison Chevrolet and Cadillac.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and in light of the recent events, your continued support means everything to myself and my employees. To thank you, we're having the biggest sale ever on all MyPillow bedding. Get MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $29.98. A set of pillowcases for only $9.98. In this economy, instead of buying a new bed, rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. We also have blankets in a variety of sizes, colors, and styles, like plush, waffle, or gossamer, for as low as $29.98. We even have pet blankets from small size to the ones for your car. Get huge discounts on duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code and you'll get huge discounts on all MyPillow bedding, including MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $29.98. Get all your shopping in while quantities last. Please order now.
Not the easiest start to Big Ten duels. Badger Wrestling opened things up against the #1 team in the country, falling to Penn State, and then they got upset by Illinois with an 0-2 record in the conference. The Badgers are really looking for that dub, and they're hoping they earn it in Ann Arbor tonight. But the Wolverines aren't letting their perfect start to the season slip. They jump out to a 10-point lead before UW finds its way onto the board. Of course, that comes at the hands of Austin Gomez. And 149 Gomez just overpowers Chance Lamer, and he goes on to win by decision. That would end up being just one of 2 wins on the night for the Badgers. Braxton Amos accounting for the other one. The Badgers fall 27-6 and are now 0-3 in the Big Ten. What a week it's been for Badger women's basketball. They pick up their first conference win in the border battle. They make it 2 straight wins after a midweek win over Michigan State. Now one of their biggest tests of the season so far, facing 6th-ranked Indiana at Assembly Hall. UW having to play catch-up in the first quarter. So Ronnie Porter, she dials up from behind the arc, cuts the deficit to single digits. Now Brooke Schrammick is going to follow her lead. Seconds later, off the glass for 2 of her team-high 13. But Indy flips that switch in the second quarter quarter behind some big shots by Mackenzie Holmes. She posts 29 points as the Hoosiers rout Wisconsin 93-56. The Badgers are back home Thursday to host 9th-ranked Maryland. Over to men's college hoops, Marquette on the road for a top 25 battle with Xavier, and it's close throughout. Xavier up by 3 late second half when Tyler Kolek floats it in. Now it's just a 1-point game. Final seconds, Golden Eagles trying to rally. Kolek off the mark, but Olivier Maxence-Spencer comes up with the offensive rebound and bucket. But the Musketeers are going to defend their home court, winning 80-76, snapping Marquette's 5-game win streak. Now, not a stat that Badger men's basketball would like to be a part of, but yesterday ended up being a record day for college hoops. According to ESPN Stats and Information, 11 ranked teams lost. That ties an AP record for the first time in 12 years. And the 18th ranked Badgers were one of 9 ranked teams to also fall on the road. Now, another coach is being added to Wisconsin's staff. There are sources saying that the program is hiring Grand Valley State head coach Matt Mitchell to head the Badgers' special teams and outside linebackers. Mitchell spent 13 years leading the program, but over 12 seasons, he had a 117-31 record. Wildcard weekend continues. NFC North champs hosting the Giants. Kirk Cousins gives the Vikings an early lead off the QB sneak. The G-men respond accordingly. Saquon Barkley is going to take it in for a 28-yard score. Now this one is going to come down to a fourth quarter battle. It's tied up at 24, and Barkley and the G-men get the final say. The Giants knock off the Vikes 31-24. And earlier today in the AFC, the Bills hosting the Dolphins. Damar Hamlin watching his team from home. The Bills having no trouble finding the end zone in the first quarter. They jump out to a 14-0 lead, but the Finns end up rallying back. Well, they're going to pull ahead right here off this play. They recover the fumble, take it in for the score. Now, Josh Allen and company, they're just not going to have that. He's going to end up finding Cole Beasley and Gabe Davis in the third quarter for the scores, and the Bills advance. And wrapping up just minutes ago in the AFC, the Bengals beat the Ravens to also advance to the divisional round.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Country rock singer-songwriter Margo Price's new album, Strays, is her first album since getting sober 2 years ago. She tells CBS News correspondent Anthony Mason how losing work in the pandemic led to a reckoning and helped her finally face her demons.
I was left alone with myself, and you cannot run from yourself. You can't outrun your demons when you're just sitting at home every night drinking 10 White Claws. You know, not 10 every time, but kind of lose track.
Coming up tomorrow on CBS Mornings, Margo Price gives Anthony Mason a tour of the Nashville spots where she used to play before she finally got her big break. A final check of your first run forecast is coming up when we return on News 3 Now.
Get Hy-Vee butter for just $1.99. Monday only at Hy-Vee. That's right, your daily deal for Monday is Hy-Vee butter for just $1.99. That's right, just $1.99. Only at Hy-Vee.
It's a foodie's paradise in this month's Madison magazine. Explore our editor's list of restaurants and chefs transforming the local dining scene. Then create an indoor Eden with our Homebody's Guide to Houseplants. Madison magazine, online and on newsstands now.
Want to know right now what the weather will be like tomorrow? Download the First Warn Weather app and you'll get my customized forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
The First Warn Weather app. Get it now. Powered by News 3 Now.
Get an F-150 with 0% APR financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash and $500 accessories cash.
Attention mothers, did you take Tylenol or other acetaminophen pain-relieving products while pregnant? Recent evidence suggests children whose mothers took Tylenol while pregnant may be more likely to develop autism. Other acetaminophen products at risk include Excedrin, NyQuil, Dayquil, and other store-brand pain relievers. Children with autism have a hard time interacting with others. Those on the spectrum usually begin exhibiting social symptoms by the time they're 8 to 10 months old. Call now for a free confidential consultation.
Please call 800-379-7867. Menards is your one-stop shop for all your pet supply needs. From start to finish, we have you covered with our wide selection of leashes and collars, toys to keep your pets entertained, treats to show gratitude, food for their daily fuel, and a large selection of litter to make the dirty jobs a breeze. If you need it for your pet, you'll find it at Menards because we know the pets are family, and family deserves the best.
Save big money at Menards. Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide 3-course dinners starting at $30. Some restaurants will offer a lunch menu for $20. Featuring wine and more by E&J Gallo Winery. Check out our guide to Restaurant Week online to see which restaurants are offering takeout as well as dine-in. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week 2023. Brought to you by the presenting sponsor, Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, and supporting sponsor, Bergstrom Madison Chevrolet and Cadillac.
Get Hy-Vee butter for just $1.99. Monday only at Hy-Vee. That's right, your daily deal for Monday is Hy-Vee butter for just $1.99. That's right, just $1.99. Only at Hy-Vee.
How a call for action led to charges against an area contractor Wednesday at 10.
California has been decimated by storms, but one custom furniture company in Sacramento is trying to make the best of it. It's gathered fallen trees around town and is turning them into beautiful treasures to sell. Truewood Builders is an urban milling company that recovers logs in the Sacramento area and transforms them into either lumber, live edge slabs, or artisan woodwork like dining tables and bars. Owner Evan Harris says in the past week his team picked up more than 100 large logs around the city, logs that might have otherwise ended up in the landfill.
It's all very unique. It all has great character. There's nothing wrong with it. And so rather than cutting it up and putting it in the landfill, we get to make these awesome pieces of furniture out of it for everybody to enjoy.
The trees they picked up this week won't be turned into treasured tables anytime soon. Evan says it takes about 3 years for the slabs to dry out before they can start transforming them into pieces of furniture. Hopefully here we're not going to be having too many downed trees. I know we're getting some rain though, but hopefully not crazy storms.
Yeah, no, not at all. We're not going to be looking at that much of a super soaker, but it will still be a soggy Monday nevertheless. Rainy conditions from Monday into our early Tuesday morning, but folks, be prepared for some snow coming in from Wednesday to Thursday. The first Warm Weather Team will update those totals coming up around tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Jillian, and thanks for joining us tonight. News 3 Now this morning starts at 4:30.